Do you remember being poor in Bloxburg? Let's talk about it. So yes, the title of this video may be a little bit weird to you or maybe a little bit confusing to you, as the title is probably something like why being poor is better in Welcome to Bloxburg, but let's talk about that. So there is a few reasons why I think being poor is better in Welcome to Bloxburg, and I'm gonna go over some of them. Yes, I know it's very weird with my massive mansion behind me talking about how it's better to be poor in Welcome to Bloxburg, but here I go. I'm gonna try and explain my point of view on the situation, and maybe you feel the same way about that. So lately it feels like a lot of the OG players and a lot of players who have been playing for years or just months, but like non-stop, have been feeling a little bit bored with Bloxburg lately, and especially the newest updates seem to be just a little bit of a bummer for them, when updates used to be very exciting and very new and brought them back to the game every time to continue building their house, but there are a few things that probably changed for you. So when you just start Bloxburg, this is usually what you spawn in with, and then there's a talking Tom right here helping you do the first basic stuff basically, and helping you along the way of Welcome to Bloxburg. And this is the most exciting part of the game. You join, you don't know anything yet, but you have a house, and that is amazing. So you enter your house and you see a lot of new things that you haven't seen before. This is basically The Sims, and if you join that, it is very overwhelming just to see that. So I'm happy that they chose for you to spawn in with a house and not with nothing. And then you realize that if you click your fridge, you can actually take ingredients and start cooking. But then at a certain point you realize that you are going to run out of money, so you need to go and get a job. And then you start looking at the jobs, and you're like, okay, there are a lot of jobs to choose from. I can always switch my job and find something that I like. And there's a lot of new information for new players as well, and it's just overwhelming. And then, I don't know, just like the fact that when you're poor, you actually start building your house until you're out of money, but then you want to continue, because if you build a mansion, for example, you want to continue that house along the way, but you run out of money constantly. So it's the struggle of like working and building a house, and it can seem boring at the time, but once it's finished, and there you are with your house. There's nothing much more to do unless you start constantly role-playing. But I see a lot of players just like working tirelessly to start building a house, and then once they finish that house or mansion, they do a few tweaks, and then when those tweaks are done, basically what happens is they get bored and they leave the game, and they don't want to build a new house because they just built a house. So some people, like Zilken, did have a goal in mind of working to so many millions of dollars so that I never have to work a day again. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just go to work and build what they want to build. And it's nice at the beginning to level up fast, to gain skills, to find out more about the game. Like, there is skills. Wow, I can work on skills. How do I do each one of them? And the search for YouTube videos explaining things that you want to do in Welcome to Bloxburg is one of the fun reasons as well to play it. And once an update comes, it looks like new stuff because you are still new to the game, so you don't know everything just yet, and there's even more stuff added to the game. So it's quite, everything is just new, everything is more expansive. Then you find out about Bloxburg stuff, so there's a lot more to it than just waiting for nothing, waiting till you get inspiration to build something because you do have too much money. So all in all, just Bloxburg gets boring because there is no more thing for you to work towards if you don't set a goal for yourself. But if you just join, there are goals enough to work towards. Yes, I still need to get my skills up, but I got bored along the way, as many people did. But once you just join the game, you do want to level up. You do want to see that you start earning more each time you level up, and that's so rewarding. And at one point your level is so high that it just takes forever to level up, and you lose motivation because you have money enough anyways, and if you don't, you can just remove a house and start over. But that's not really a goal to work towards. And then for people who just start the game, level 10 is like something magical, and you can work towards level 10 and it will still be special once you reach it. And for example, your first $10,000 is amazing, and then you can finally buy a car, and you run out of money for bills. So there's a lot more challenges into the game when you don't have a lot of money to play. If you do have a lot of money, you just basically sit here and you build whatever you want, but then you have no inspiration, so you just remove it. And there's not really a goal, as I said, to work towards, instead of being poor and actually having a goal. Even though I remember when I was poor in Bloxburg, I did sometimes lose motivation, but I always got back, even if it was the week after. Sometimes it was only a day in between, but I did lose motivation sometimes because I was poor and I wanted to build a house and I didn't have a house. And then I wanted to save up for my first car, car, and I wasn't sure whether to get the Blox 500 or whatever it is called. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to get the Road 500 or the Blox Voyage. But yeah, I did want the Voyage, but I don't know, that $7,000 was quite the stretch for me, so I ended up getting the Road 500, and I started saving again for the Bloxy Voyage. I don't know, it's just, we lost that kind of purpose, especially if you play a long time now. There's kind of no real purpose anymore for you to grow in the game, as when you're just beginning out and you're still poor, or you don't spend a lot of money and you don't work a lot. There's actually a lot more challenge to it. You need to be sure to be able to pay your bills, and you need to just make sure that the house you want to build, you have enough money for it, and if not, you can do a room and then go back to work, do another room. So that's a lot of challenges for you, and I feel like if you are rich, all of those challenges just disappear, and slowly you just lose motivation to build anything, because everything you have wanted to build for a long time, you have built. And sometimes it is good, for example, the pizza delivery job, sometimes it is good to earn a lot of money, especially for builders who build weekly or speed builders on YouTube. But for the main public, I feel like we earn a little too much, and I know this is a very, very controversial, but that's my opinion on it. Like, if we earned a little less, I remember in 2016, the earnings were very low, and you had to work like an hour for a TV. That was a little too low for me as well. But I feel like right now, for working an hour, you can earn $100,000, and there's not really a goal anymore into saving up to $10,000 or saving for a car, even though some cars now are really expensive. But the people who have worked a lot don't really have to set a goal anymore, because if you just work, you have enough for whatever you want to pay within 10 minutes. So it's like, it's easy now. And yes, that is a goal to work towards. And that is the weird thing. You always work towards being rich, whether it's real life or whether it is a game. Now, in this case, it is a game, and you work towards that goal. For example, I desperately wanted $1 million. I wanted to go to 5 million eventually, but I stopped. And once I reached that milestone, I was like, okay, I got it now. I have it now. What do I do? And that's when I got bored. And to be completely honest with you guys, I barely play Bloxburg lately for fun. I only play it for videos lately, and I feel kind of sad about that, but it's probably going to come back at one point once I want to like build again. But I haven't been in a builder's mood in forever. But yeah, once you reach that goal, you're just sitting there like, okay, I have it now, what do I do now? And that's when it sinks in that there's no real challenge anymore. And that's something you have with these building games, that once you did everything you want to do, you're basically bored, and updates can't really change that anymore. So I know I've been blantering a lot about the same thing, but I just wanted to explain in detail how I feel. Maybe you feel the same way about that as well. How much money do you have? What was your goal in the beginning of the game? I desperately wanted 1 or 2 cars and a house with 2-3 bedrooms, and it took me 2 weeks to get there. Once I got there, I was so happy, but then the more and more houses I built, the more bored I got, and I don't even, sometimes I build a house and I don't even finish it anymore, or I do finish it, but then I never load it in, because I'm like, okay, I built a house, I'm happy now, that's all I wanted to do, and then I never load that house again, and I delete it, probably in another video of me cleaning out my inventory or something like that. But yeah, I just, that's the way I feel about Bloxburg currently. I don't know if you share that opinion, but I wanted to share mine. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button, and please subscribe.